Alright, so hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, it is a Ciara's view. Now, I thought it would be good as time as ever to bring this back. I haven't done one since the Trayvon Martin incident, so what a lovely way to segue my way back into my political rants. I got my notes, got my phone, so we're gonna hop right to it. So as you can see by the title, we're gonna break down racism as it is today in 2014. So before I say anything, because some of y'all think it's like not Murphy's Law, like it's freaking the laws of America, what I say. I appreciate that, but this is my opinion. If you need to go to Google or pick up Webster's, do that. It's mine. I own it. I'm going to say what I want and exercise my constitutional right of freedom of speech. So, let's hop into it. So, before I say anything, I want to bring definitions. So, I want to define what racism is as it is written down. So, before I define racism, I must define prejudice, because there's a whole hoopla of who can be racist and who cannot be racist. So, let us define what prejudice is. According to the dictionary, it is a noun. It is the preconceived opinion that is not based on reason or actual experience. That is the definition of prejudice. Now, the definition of racism is a noun, again, a belief or doctrine that inherent differences among various human races determine cultural or individual achievement, usually involving the idea that one's own race is superior and has the right to rule others. Let me read that again for you. A belief or doctrine that inherent differences among the various human races determine culture or individual achievement, usually involving the idea that one owns race is superior and has the right to rule others. Now, here is why in America, the United States of America, let me exclusively put that into the country I live in, Black people, Hispanics, Latinos, Native Americans, Islander, Asian, African, we can't be racist because we have, what they left out is the power. Now, this comes from years of systematic degradation, systematic mind control, that we have no power. So, with that being said, yes, this video is going to be geared towards white people, my Caucasians. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Right? It's okay. I love you. But because I love you and because I believe in everyone loving everyone for who they are and equality, all that, I'm going to speak some truth. So if you're not ready to hear some truth, shut up the video off. Just leave me alone, okay? If you're not ready to hear this truth, it's okay. Not everyone is ready to hear the truth about the way the world is, how it is, straight, no chaser, cold cut, straight up. This is how it's going to be, okay? So, getting into what I named the video, racist and don't know it. Racism is a learned behavior. No one is born believing that because of their skin color and their heritage that they are better than anybody else. That is a learned behavior. That is not nature. That is nurture. So, what I want to bring up in this video is I, for over the past couple of years, have been working with children. And recently I had a career change, but that's neither here nor there. For majority of those 2 years, I have worked with kids from the age of 6 weeks to the age of 5. So basically in that preschool age range, those are the kids that I've mainly worked with. And I can tell you about this one little boy. He was so cute. He turned 2 I want to say about 6 months ago. So he's at that age where he picks up on a lot of mannerisms and vocabulary from people that he's always around. Now, this boy I would see every single day, 5 days a week, every single week for 2 hours. It was drop-in. That's neither here nor there. And so one day I taught him how to, pound it and explode. And for the first time, he didn't really get it. And, he was trying to figure it out. But, by day 3, he was doing it. And, say, hey, pound it. And he would, do this and we'll do that. And he would get it. And by day 5, he's telling me to do it. So at first, when he's trying to learn it, I'm actually putting his hand to a fist and putting my hands and then slowly doing it and then getting this down and then getting this down. And he's like, okay, don't really get it. All right. So eventually, as he's picking up on these things and he sees me doing with other kids also, he starts to pick up on the behavior and starts to be familiar with the action that when we say goodbye, we pound it and explode. To the point where you can now say pound it and he goes like this and you just do that and he knows it. I say that to correlate it with kids watch what you do. So, no race. People will think of racism as I'm going to burn a cross on your front lawn. I'm going to throw a brick through your window. I'm going to call you nigger. Every time I see you, I'm going to spit on you. I'm going to throw mustard on you when you're sitting down to eat lunch. I'm going to take my dogs out, let them stick them on you, let them bite you. Everyone thinks of the extreme form of racism. And that's not all racism is. In today's world, there are very few people that are going to be outwardly like, what up, nigger, you're no good. No one's going to say that. No one's going to throw a brick. Well, there's some people there. No one's really going to throw a brick through your window and, try to burn down your house. However, people have learned passed down from generation to generation to associate a certain ethnic group with certain mannerisms. So if you spend a lot of time with your grandparents and they're, old school Southern thinking and you happen to be white and they didn't really vibe with black people like that when they were younger, they may not have took you to the grocery store and walked by a black person in today's world and said, ugh, nigga. But they can see when you give someone a look. They can see that. And then they notice who you're doing it by. So if you do that by every single black person you see, eventually they're going to correlate this disgusted face with black people. And then they're going to do it. Or if you're clutching your purse every time you walk past a black person and some little kids that's always around you sees that, they're going to correlate that with black people. So it's no longer extremism. It's the little minute mannerisms that we have in today's world. I'll give you a couple of examples. So in my new career change, I now work in a law office as a legal assistant. And this week, actually, I'm walking from the bathroom to go back into the office. And there's this, one of the lawyers in the firm is walking towards me. So we're going to have an impasse. And so I noticed that she's looking at me kind of weird. And I'm just like, hello, hi. She looks down. I wear my badge on the bottom of my shirts because I'm not going to wear them on my boob. That's too much attention. But she sees that on my badge is our firm's logo. And she goes, oh, hi. I'm some type of suspicious person in business attire walking down the hallway. Now, she may not have thought that was weird, but It is, because I've seen her around the office. She may not have noticed me, but I've seen you a few times. I know who you are. Yet, outside of the cubicle environment that I sit in, I'm a weird outsider until you see that my badge is the same badge that you have. So, little things like that, that's a little bit, it's racism, let's be honest. And then, so for a more extreme end of the spectrum, I'll take it back to high school. Me and my two best friends and our guy friend, we were going to K&G because it was time for prom. We were looking for, I think we were going to look for our guy friend a suit to wear to prom. And so we go into the store. It wasn't like I was the only one that noticed it. We all noticed it. We were all black, just in case you forgot, in case you didn't understand. That the lady, I think she was the manager, watched us as we came in, watched us as we walked through the men's suits, slowly crept up behind us and was following us through K&G. And we all stopped and stared at her, and she looked away and all that stuff, and we were like, she's following us. And me, I'm 18 and I'm just like black power, but I'm like, I go to private school. My mother spends more money on my tuition than you get paid in a month. So I suggest you chill out, white woman. And we didn't buy anything and we left. Because I have never felt more disrespected by someone that did not know me in my whole entire life. So I say that to say that, were they going to follow me home and lynch me? No. But their mannerisms suggest that they are not comfortable around me because of my skin color. In both those situations, because I have a dress code at work, I had a dress code in high school, I wasn't dressed as a ratchet or a thought or a thug. I was dressed in acceptable business attire. So there was no reason to think that I was stealing anything, because by my appearance, I don't have the appearance, besides my skin color, of someone that will be suspicious. But that's neither here nor there. So let's talk about another form of racism. Now, some of y'all think this exists and some of y'all don't, but it does. White privilege, people. Yes, white privilege. Now, I forgot to Google the definition of white privilege, but we all know what white privilege is. White privilege is basically you have an upper hand when it comes to the world and all it has to offer because you are white. Now, you may say, how is that a form of racism? It's a form of racism because someone can be white and automatically get categorized as good, and then someone can be black and get categorized as not good. I'll give you an example. I am a highly educated, well-rounded individual. My resume it's impressive. I mean, okay, it's I mean, I didn't do 15,000 extracurricular activities, but my resume is amazing. I have some great institutions on there, some great extracurricular activities on there, a great GPA, but I'm still black. And because my name isn't black, I have literally shown up to interviews. People are confused as to they look at me, look at my resume, look at me again, and then try to be happy. Now, here's the other thing. You can disagree if you want, but it's true. Take my resume, put a white person's name on there, send a white person, to the interview, and I can guarantee you they would hire that person 10 times over than they would hire me. Here's the other flip side of that on the appearance. Take someone that, has a horrible record, been in and out of juvie, in and out of prison, just what you would call possibly white trash, clean them up, send them to the interview, and they will be accepted. That's what world we're living in, to be honest. And it's ridiculous because my credentials should speak for themselves. And they do until they realize I'm black. And it's stupid. It's ignorant. It is everything you can. I can't even put it in words. It doesn't make any type of sense that I went through all these hurdles, jumped through all these hoops, and have this amazing background, but I'm black. So this is the world we are living in. Now, in closing, am I saying all white people are bad? No. Am I saying all black people are these wonderful human beings? No. What I am saying is there are certain truths that we must become comfortable with, and there are certain truths that we must sit with and realize we need a change. I shouldn't have to go into a store and feel like someone's watching me because I'm black. And how I correlate this to Mike Brown and Eric Garner is, yes, I am this wonderful person, and yes, I have done these amazing things and have this amazing resume. But in those 90 seconds that a police officer sees me and thinks I'm doing something wrong, they're not going to stop and ask me how wonderful I am or all the things that I accomplished. All they're going to see is a black person and correlate that to a criminal. And that's not right. And we shouldn't think that way. No one should think that way. There should be due process for everyone. Not just some people, but everyone. So with that being said, before I get angry, I just want to say, first and foremost, to all the people that are not African American or black, however you define yourself, I appreciate the people that are marching with us, people that are standing up against these injustices. I appreciate that because I think in the world we live in now with all the technology and social media that we are getting to a point where we no longer have to explain why we are angry with certain things because now you can see it for yourself and there's evidence of why we were angry. And I just appreciate everyone in my generation, the older generation, the generation that's younger than us and coming up. I appreciate the voices that are with us and rising up against all injustice, not just with black-white issues, but with every single issue, especially the police brutality among everyone in this country. It is ridiculous. But however you want to change the world, change the world. I myself want to change the world through the actual system. That's why I'm going to law school, so that I can learn the system so that I can get in there and be the change within the system and not just marching and not just doing that. I'm not really an activist, but I do have a voice in a different way, so I'm going to use that. But just for everyone that, sees an injustice and does something about it, I appreciate that. I think everyone in our community appreciates that. And just rest in peace to all my black men and black women that have been victims of explicit racism and subliminal racism. It's just too much to handle sometimes, and I believe people were born to be martyrs, and the lack of justice that was delivered these past not even 2 weeks. It's been like within the same 7 days of these two verdicts. I think that those are people that are living beyond the grave and that are basically martyrs that die. They didn't have to die, but they died for a cause and they died for a reason. And I believe that through them and their life and death, that we can make the change that is needed to be. But until next time, everybody, I'm out. Deuces. Thanks for watching. Bye.